Hello and welcome to our overview of the French student visa application process for fall 2023 enrollment at the American University of Paris. I'm Jacqueline Oberdorster, the Director of U.S. Admissions at AUP, and I'll be walking you through the steps required to apply for your French student visa from the United States and how to avoid some common mistakes that could otherwise end up delaying the issue of your visa. This presentation will be specific to students applying for a French student visa from the United States. So to check the process for your country of residence, including whether the Campus France procedure will be required, please look up your country of residence's visa instructions on the France Visas website. So to apply for your French student visa, you will first fill out an application online with Campus France. You'll make an account with our application portal, Études en France or Studies in France, and then complete the online application form. Once the Campus France online application is complete, you'll go to their payment portal to submit payment. The next step is to make an account on the France Visas website and then fill out an application form that you'll then print and bring with you to your final step, which is an in-person visa appointment at a VFS Global Center. Your VFS Global appointment must take place after your Campus France online application has been processed, which can take about 3 weeks. You will turn in some paperwork, including the France Visa's printed application form and your passport. Your visa will then be created and attached to your passport, and they will be mailed back to you. If you will be under 18 years old when you arrive in France, speak with your admissions counselor to confirm if you should apply for a minor student visa. The minor student visa process does not use the online Campus France application, which is where everyone else will begin. Minors instead will skip directly to the France Visa's website and application form, which you will print out again rather than submit electronically, and the in-person VFS Global appointment. Minors will also need to bring some additional materials to the visa appointment with them, which will include things like a birth certificate, parent identification, and a parent travel authorization letter. For those that will be 18 and above upon arrival, so we'll go ahead and continue with the standard French student visa application process, starting with the online Campus France application. So you can submit your online Campus France application within about a month of graduating from high school, although we do recommend doing this in April or May so that you'll be able to do the next step, the France Visas and in-person visa appointment in June. If you're planning on arriving at AUP for the spring semester in January, you will want to be able to attend the in-person visa appointment no later than early December. There are a few items that you're going to need to have ready to upload to your online Campus France application. It's important to note that all files must be in JPEG or PDF format. The file size limit also is not very large. All files need to be under 300 kilobytes, and your headshot photo must be under 50 kilobytes. If you have trouble uploading anything, it's very often a file size issue. So you can send a file to your admissions counselor if you need help resizing it. So you will need your official acceptance letter from AUP, your diploma or transcripts. So for this part, they're checking for proof that you've completed high school before arriving. So you are, if currently in school and you're using transcripts instead of a diploma, the transcripts need to list your graduation date. So your transcripts might not include your final spring grades, but they should include your final fall semester grades from fall 2022. And if you're applying for the spring 2023 semester, then they should have your final spring or summer 2022 grades. You can also submit, and we would recommend that you submit a letter from your high school confirming that you have graduated or that you are on track to graduate with a graduation date. So a common mistake that students make is submitting a copy of their high school transcripts that don't have their graduation date listed. So that's okay, but it also needs to include that letter from your counselor stating that you're on track to graduate and what that graduation date will be. If students don't include that letter, then it will delay the processing of the application. So be sure in that case to make sure that you have this letter from your counselor. If you're a visiting study abroad or co-op student, a transfer student, or a graduate student, instead you will just upload current or most recent college transcripts instead. Okay, you will also need your resume or list of activities, similar to what you submitted for your application to AUP. You'll need a few sentences to copy and paste about the reasons you're studying abroad in France, particularly in terms of your personal, academic, and career goals. Your statement should be at least 150 words, but does not need to be lengthy. You're also going to need your passport ID page and a passport-like headshot photo. So you can take this photo yourself and just crop it around your head, but note that it must be very small, so a maximum of only 50 kilobytes. Okay, so this is the main Campus France USA page at usa.campusfrance.org. At the top, open the Apply menu, and then right-click on Application Overview to open the page in a new tab. This will bring you to a page that explains how to apply for a student visa. So you want to scroll down the page. And now you can see that they've outlined the process into 4 steps and that it contains some helpful links. And since you have it open in a new tab, you can refer to it anytime if needed throughout the visa application process. For step 1, you can click the link to go to their application guide for Etudes en France if you want, which is again the application portal for Campus France. However, this presentation will go over everything you need to know, so it's not necessary for you to read through their guide. You will need to come back to this page, however, after you complete the Campus France application in order to pay the fee. So make sure you do keep this tab open. Although I will note that at the time of this recording, it looks like they've updated it. And so the fee is kind of wrapped all up into the application, which makes it a bit easier. So you may not need to go back to this page, but still I find it helpful to have it open because of the steps that it outlines. Okay, so in the meantime, you can either right-click on the application link in step 1 circled here, or you can scroll up and click the red Etudes en France icon located in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, so then on this page in the upper right-hand corner, you can switch the language to English. And then you can click the Sign Up button with a pencil icon to create your account. Your browser might give you the option to auto-translate from any of these pages from French to English. You do not want the browser to translate these pages, so select No or Not Now. This is another common error that could lead to your application not matching what you're about to see in this presentation. So instead, you're going to want to access the English version of this page. Again, the browser translation of French will look different than the actual English version of the website. So you'll need to select their English page option in order to follow along with our instructions, and then I will show you where to find that for each website. On the registration page, you'll start with a drop-down menu for each country that uses Campus France. This menu will appear in French, but we'll be able to switch over to English later. So in French, United States is États-Unis. So scroll down to find eSpace Campus France États-Unis. Another very common question is students scroll down looking for the United States. So they go down to U. If they don't see it, they email saying that their country isn't located. Again, in France, United States is called États-Unis and starts with an E. Okay, so once you've chosen Campus France États-Unis or United States, the rest of this page will populate and you'll have the option to change it to English in the upper right-hand corner circled here. So now we have switched to the English version of this page. The first 2 sections are your permanent email address. You'll type this in twice. The rest of the page will ask for basic information to set up your account. Information should match your passport, such as a spelling of your name, your gender, date of birth, and place of birth. The type of ID will be passport, and you'll enter the expiration date and passport number. Note that this form will ask for dates in a European format of date, month, year. You will want to make sure that at least the first check mark is selected at the bottom 2 boxes. You can choose to receive mail from Campus France about other opportunities in the second option, but the first box must be clicked. And then you will click Create an Account at the very bottom. Once you've completed the registration for your Etudes en France account, you'll receive an email asking you to validate the account to the email address you listed. After you validate your account, log into your Etudes en France account. And then you will come to this page. So you will select Students Already Accepted circled here. So for context, the Etudes en France application can also be used to apply to French universities, which is their form for students not yet accepted. You've already been admitted to a university in France, so that's why you'll select Already Accepted, that second option. You will also see your name and your Campus France ID number in the upper right corner. You'll need this ID number for the next few steps of the visa process, so copy this number down, or at least remember where to find it. It will also be called your EEF ID number, which stands for Etudes en France, and you will need it for the other steps of the visa application process. In the drop-down menu, well, not drop-down, but the bubble menu, first-year students, first-year abroad students, including USC, GW, Tulane, and Northeastern, transfer students, and graduate students will all choose I am not study abroad. Visiting students, by which we mean you're studying abroad at AUP just for a semester or a year, and you're currently enrolled at another college or university, and you're not a first year student, you will choose I am a study abroad student. So here's a quick look at what the page will look if you are a study abroad student. So again, you should only be choosing this option if you're enrolled at another university and you're just visiting AUP for a semester or a year before returning back to that university. So this is not your selection if you're a first year abroad or a first year gap student, and we'll come back to that in a minute. So you can see here that you'll fill out your home institution in the US, your host institution in France, that's AUP, and describe your program. You can write a short explanation about your major and what you'll be studying at AUP for the semester or for the year. Now we'll go through the steps for students that are not study abroad and are coming to AUP for at least one full year or longer. So if you are a one semester first year abroad student, meaning you are here with Tulane Spring Scholars, the NUN program, or USC 1 semester student, or if you're a gap semester student, we'll come back to you in a minute. This does not apply to your situation. Full year and longer students in the situation section, choose the second bubble, I am in another situation, and select other from the drop-down menu. Under program search, only students that are enrolling in a degree seeking program at AUP with the addition of first year abroad, so first year, transfer, first year abroad, and graduate students will search for a program in the catalog. So again, first year, 1 year, first year abroad, transfer, and graduate students, select I found my program in the catalog, and then click on the blue search a program in the catalog button. Type in AUP to search. If you are an undergraduate student, you will choose the first option for the bachelor's degree program. And if you're a graduate student, you will choose a second option for the master's program. And then you're going to choose your year of enrollment from the menu. So if you're transferring credits, you can just estimate your year of enrollment. And then you'll choose Site de Paris, since that's our only campus option in Paris. And then click the blue bar at the bottom that says select the program to finalize the catalog search. Back on the program details page, make sure the information all looks correct. In section 4, you can then fill in the start date of the program, again in that date, month, year format. Copy the date exactly from your official acceptance letter. And then section 5 is your personal statement. So write a short statement about your motivations for studying at AUP and in Paris, and how this will affect and help your future career goals. So we just looked at how to fill in the program details if you're either a study abroad student, a degree seeking student, or a full year first year visiting student. So now we're going to look to what to do if you're coming to AUP as a first year. So you are not a study abroad student under the French consulate rules, and you're only staying for one semester, not a full year. So this includes our first year abroad program for USC fall semester, Northeastern, NUN, and our Tulane Spring Scholars. So you'll still choose I am in another situation, and then other in section 1. And then for section 2, choose I did not find my program in the catalog, and fill in a short form, including a description where you can explain that you're studying at AUP for a semester. In section 3, you'll click to find your French institution and search for AUP. Then enter both the start and end dates to match the dates on your official acceptance letter. And then finally, just like other students, you'll write a few sentences about your motivation for studying in Paris and how this will complement your area of study or your future goals. At the end of the program details, all students will now upload your official acceptance letter from your AUP enrollment documents. Remember that this file needs to be under 300 kilobytes, so if your file won't upload, check the size. So here is an image of an official acceptance letter so that you can make sure you're uploading the correct document. Note that this is not the email that you received to congratulate you on your acceptance to AUP. This is an official document that is in both English and French with our logo in the top left corner. Under the header Acquis de Droit, you can find your program dates. You'll want to enter these same dates when your visa application forms ask you for your start and end dates. At the end, there is a paragraph about your housing to explain that AUP is responsible for your housing accommodations in Paris. The address at 10 Rue de Musset is the accommodation address you'll use later in the next application form. It does not mean that that's where your housing is assigned, but it is the address that we ask you to use for your visa application. So once you've uploaded your acceptance letter, you'll be taken back to the main page. And if you click to expand the Finalize the Procedure section, you should see where your main study program in the first section should have the correct information and should also say complete in green next to your arrival date. To the right, you can see options to modify that section or delete and start over. But now you're going to move on to the next half, which is personal information. Okay, so in this section, I apologize if it looks a little bit different, a little out of date and doesn't match your screen correctly, but all fields should remain the same. You'll verify all the personal information that you already filled out when you did your initial registration, so most of this will autocomplete. For identity photograph, upload a passport-like headshot photo. This can be a photo you crop around your face, but it must be very small, only 50 kilobytes maximum. In the second section, photo ID should be a photo or scan of the ID page of your passport. For the special status section, choose My situation doesn't apply to any of the above. Under the Education and Professional Experience tab, upload a resume. So this can be a list of any extracurricular involvement, similar to that list of activities you submitted for your admissions application. The important thing is to make sure that your resume has your high school or most currently attended institution and the highest level of education completed. Under Mon Cursus, identify how much education you've completed. Make your selection from the drop-down menu and then click the blue Add button. So the selection here will vary based on your own status and how much education you've completed. A menu will pop up for you to fill in your school information, either high school or college, depending on what you selected in the drop-down menu before. And then they will ask you to upload a copy of your high school diploma or college transcripts. So again, if you don't have your diploma from high school, you can upload your high school transcripts if they list your graduation date, or you can upload a letter from your high school verifying your graduation status with your intended graduation date. You should not upload a copy of high school transcripts that do not list a graduation date unless it is accompanied by that letter from your school verifying that you're on track to graduate. Your application will be delayed if you submit incomplete transcripts. Next is the language skills section. So the top question about proficiency exams is only asking about official French exams like the DELF. If you haven't taken that, skip that section. And at level of French, you will only have some French education if you've attended a French immersion school or a French lycée here in the United States. Taking a French class does not mean that part of your education was in French. So that second option, I have studied French, is for students who have taken some French as a class. Most of you will skip the stays in France section unless you've studied abroad in France before, which is possible. You'll then fill out your native language section. In the I have studied English section, you can choose native language or just fill in what works best for your situation. Now, both your program and personal information sections should have the green complete notification. Click confirm the information and submit the application. Check the corresponding boxes and then click the I confirm my final choice to Campus France USA. Your application will be submitted to Campus France. However, it will not be finalized and finished until you complete the next step, which is the application payment fee. So I brought us back to the Campus France website outlining the application steps. For step 2, you'll be linked to the Campus France application fee portal where you'll pay your application fee, or it may have just asked you on the previous screen. You may have been directed to it right away, which is also fine. You will need your Campus France ID, again, also known as your EEF ID, in order to complete the payment. Remember, this is the ID number located in the upper right-hand corner when you are logged into the Etudes en France application portal. It is very important that you complete this step, so your Campus France application will not be reviewed and begin processing until you've submitted payment. So you can choose either the standard 3-week option for $250 or the expedited 3-day review for $390. If you are submitting this application before June 15th, 2023, you likely will be fine with choosing the standard option. If you are submitting your application after June 15th, please be in contact with your admissions counselor who can advise you on current visa processing timelines to help you decide which option to choose. So once more, here's the Campus France website, but we've completed both steps 1 and 2. So now we're moving on to the France visas part with step 3. This is also where any minors that will be under 18 and applying for the school going minor visa will join us and begin their application process. So on the France Visas page, you will click on the blue My Account button in the upper right-hand corner to create an account. And then you can also change the text into English using the drop-down language menu in the upper right-hand corner. And then you'll want to go down and click on step 2, which is start your visa application online. Step 1 is a questionnaire to see if you need a visa. You likely already know you do, but if you have any special circumstances that you'd like to check, you can use the visa wizard there to enter your information and confirm your application procedure. And then once you've clicked to start your visa application, you'll start with current nationality to match your passport, and then we'll scroll down. Next is place of submission. So this is United States of America, and you will be applying from the United States. Cities of submission, you're going to want to select which VFS Global Center you're going to visit. Visa type is long stay, even if you're a 1-semester student. And then for the next one, you can round out your months of stay. You can choose more than 1 year if you'll be staying at AUP for more than 1 year. For travel document, copy the details from your passport, including issuing country, passport number, date of issue, and expiration date. And then at the bottom, indicate that your plans are to study and your purpose is student. If you're applying as a minor, you will choose that your plans are to study, but that your purpose is minor student, individual stay. So then you will fill out basic information about yourself. And again, this should match your passport. Remember that the dates are in the European format again, so date, month, year. Minor students will also be asked to enter information about their parents. Most students applying from the United States will not have a national identity number, so therefore you can leave that field blank. All the way at the bottom of the personal information section, you'll be asked about your job. Your job is student, and sector can be other activities. It will ask for employer or teaching establishment, and AUP is your teaching establishment. So fill in our name and contact details. You can copy what you see on this slide exactly. Next, it will ask if you've ever had a visa before, in case you studied abroad in the past and have stayed in France long term. Otherwise, you can just answer no. For the Your Stay section, your start date should again match your acceptance letter. Plan duration can be 12 months if you're planning to stay at AUP long term. You'll be issued a 12-month visa that you will renew each spring, or you can enter a shorter term if you're only staying 1 semester. EEF number, again, is the Études en France number, your Campus France ID number, which appears in the upper right-hand corner when you're logged into the Campus France Études en France application form that we filled out earlier. You can answer no to the scholarship question since we aren't awarding state scholarships, and answer no to the travel with family question since you aren't all receiving visas together as a family. For accommodations, select that a company, organization, or establishment will be hosting me. That organization is AUP, and enter our contact details again. You can copy again the details from the screen exactly if you wish. Your contact person is your admissions counselor, and then you can again enter AUP's contact details. You can then select that your place of accommodation is different, and here you'll enter AUP's name once more, but then the housing address from the bottom of your official acceptance letter, which was 10 Rue de Musset. So again, you can copy it exactly as you see it here, minus the admissions counselor part at the top. You would actually put their counselor's name. So at the end, it's going to ask you how you are funding travel costs. You should select myself here, and then select what you'll be using to pay for AUP, whether that's cash, you can do other for student loans. So you'll need to bring financial details with you to your visa appointment, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. But this selection should match the type of financial documents you will be bringing with you. So if you're paying out of pocket, you can select cash. And again, if you're using student loans, select other and then write in loans. You'll then be bringing bank account information or your student loan details with you to your visa appointment. After you click next at the bottom, it will bring you to a list of required supporting documents to submit your application. A few common questions that do arise from this list. So one is just please note that your visa application will be denied if your passport expires within 3 months after the end of the semester. So for all full year students, this means your passport cannot expire sooner than August of 2024. Also, a passport is not required, or I'm sorry, a passport is not considered an official travel document in terms of what they mean here. So a note verbal is not required for our students. The last completed degree will be a copy of your high school transcripts with a graduation date for all incoming first-year students, first-year abroad students, and gap year students. A copy of college transcripts will be required for all incoming transfer, study abroad, and graduate students. The pre-registration certificate is the email that you will receive from Campus France that states your Campus France application has been processed. So again, this will either be within 3 days of submitting and paying if you chose the expedited option, or 3 weeks if you chose a standard processing time. Bank statements are required for all students, even those paying with student loans. If the bank accounts are in a parent's name, as most often they will need to be accompanied by a notarized financial guarantee letter. So you will need to plan ahead for that. And then the proof of accommodation that was included in your enrollment documents. It will include the address 10 Rue de Musset. And we're going to go over this list again in a few more slides. Okay, so on this final page, you should be able to see that each section is confirmed in green, although the most updated version of this website may look a little different for you. You can click the pen icon to edit any sections from this page. And if you're all done, click the checkbox to declare it is all correct and complete and select continue. And remember, you must print this application out and bring it with you to your VFS Global appointment. This application does not submit online like it does for Campus France. So this page will show you the fee that will be due when you turn in your visa application at your in-person appointment. Click continue. And so this may seem counterintuitive what I'm about to ask you to do since you haven't made the appointment yet, but you're going to want to check the box that says you certify you made contact with your visa center, then click submit to the visa center. Please note that you will still need to print and bring this visa application with you to the visa center. So after you do that, it is going to bring up a PDF of your France visas application. If you scroll down, you will also see that it includes your registration receipt with a barcode. You can print all of this from here, or you can access it from your France visas account portal later. If you make a mistake on this application, that is okay. It's not going to delay anything like your Campus France application would. So what you will do is just go back to your account, your France Visas account, and create a new application, and then just make sure that you print the correct one to bring with you to your visa appointment. Back on the France Visas website, so you've completed the application, but now you need to actually make your visa appointment. So on that same page, you're just going to scroll down and click where to submit your application. You can also access this by the France Visas homepage, and you can just click step 3, submit your application. So you're going to complete the steps for choosing your country, and then you're going to see instructions for applying for a visa. So what you'll want to do is, this is the page for if you're applying from the United States, you'll want to scroll down and click on that whom should I contact to find details about VFS Global Centers in the United States. So you can see the 9 US VFS centers listed, and you can scroll down to find an address and contact information for each. You do need to attend a visa appointment in person, and this means you may need to travel to attend your appointment. So take note of which VFS location will be the most convenient for you. You can click book an appointment next to any location here, and that will take you to the VFS Global website where you will create a new login and then book an appointment with any VFS Global Center. Remember that you'll need to follow these visa instructions in order. Although you can go ahead and schedule your visa appointment after you submit your Campus France application, but your appointment must take place after your Campus France application has been processed. So you should be leaving at least a 3-week window between paying your Campus France application fee and attending your VFS Global Center visa appointment. We would like for you to keep in touch with us about your visa progress. So on your admitted student checklist, you'll be able to indicate when you've completed the various steps, including when you've completed Campus France and when you have attended your in-person visa appointment. Important to note that when you attend a VFS appointment, you will turn in your passport and your visa paperwork, which will then be sent to the French consulate in DC for your visa to be issued, attached to your passport, and then mailed back to you. This process can take a few weeks. They like to say 4 to 5 weeks. So please keep that in mind as you plan ahead. There is no expedited option for your visa application process, right? So you can expedite the Campus France portion and have that process a little bit sooner. But once you attend your visa appointment, you are at the mercy of the French consulate in DC. they get busier at the end of summer. So we do recommend that you book your appointment early and get that June appointment so that you do not have to worry about not having your visa in time. If you are attending your visa appointment late July or sometime in August, you will definitely need to be in contact with your admissions counselor so that we can potentially prepare for you to either arrive a few days late, or you may have to defer your admission if you're not going to have your visa on time. Okay, so this VFS will email you a list of what you need to bring to your appointment, but here's what you should plan to include based on the France Visas website, the VFS website, and past student experiences at these appointments. So both of the documents that are from your admitted student, your AUP enrollment document. So this would be your official acceptance letter and your certificate of insurance. You will also need the email from Campus France that says your application has been processed. Again, this is also known as the pre-registration certificate. You will need your completed and printed application from the France Visas website. And remember that when you completed that application, the website will also generate a registration receipt with a barcode on top. Print and bring that with you too. You will need 2 passport photos. You will need your passport, which again should be valid at least through August of 2024 for full year students or March of 2024 for 1 semester students. And you will need a photocopy of your passport ID page. As we mentioned earlier, you will need to bring financial information showing that you can cover tuition plus an extra 615 euros per month for living costs. If you are using loans at AUP and then you've submitted your loan plan and we have verified that your loans are all set, we can issue you a letter that you can bring to your appointment. If you're paying out of pocket, you will need to bring 3 months of bank statements. If these statements, again, are in someone else's name, such as a parent, we can give you a financial guarantee form that the account holder will sign to verify that you'll have access to those funds. You will also find a link to this form in your admitted student checklist under the Visa tab. Since your passport and visa are going to be mailed back to you, please bring proof of your address, such as a driver's license or state ID. If you're under 18, additional items will be needed, such as a birth certificate, a letter from your parents authorizing your travel, and parent identification. If you'll be applying for the minor visa, make sure to talk with your admissions counselor so that we can give you these extra instructions and details about what to bring to this appointment. And again, they will also be included in your admitted student checklist on your portal. The France Visas website has also recently begun accepting digital uploads of these documents. It is not a requirement and it is optional. So it will not expedite the review of your visa application, but it may help your in-person visa appointment go a little quicker. But in either case, you will still need to bring paper copies of all the documents with you. And that's it. So I know that there are a lot of steps involved, but we hope that this helps to explain what you'll need to do to apply for your visa. Remember that visas are issued by the French authorities, not by AUP. So this guide is intended to help you along the process as much as possible, but that process or fees are subject to change. So please pay attention to the websites that we mentioned and any instructions that you're sent by Campus France, your VFS Center, or the French Consulate. Once your materials are sent from the VFS Center to the French Consulate, it's possible that they will email you if they need anything else. So watch your emails and let your admissions counselor know if they do contact you so that we can help. Your admissions counselor can also provide you with a visa checklist PDF guide that includes these steps and some of the most frequently asked questions to help you stay on track. And then again, please stay in touch with your admissions counselor and let us know via your admitted student pages as you complete these steps so that we can keep track of your progress. And we will especially want to make note of when your Campus France online application has been submitted, when you've been notified that it has been processed, and the date of your VFS Global appointment, and then once you have your visa in hand. We have our admissions email address here and the Campus France email address, and we hope that now you are prepared to get started. So we are so glad that you are going to be joining us this fall, and we'll see you soon in Paris.